After spending more than 3 days studying the most well-known creators in the e-commerce clothing brand space, I'm going to show you the difference. Why creators of the top 1% are so successful in scaling their mentorship that costs 5k, 7k, even up to 10k, high ticket, while the rest of the smaller creators are struggling to even charge a small price of 2,000 to even 3,000 at most. I'm going to show you how the top 1% structure their program and the difference between how smaller creators structure their program, as well as the flywheel that they are using to be able to charge such high ticket and justify why they're able to charge so high, while also outcompete most of their competition. Now with that being said, let's not take too long and dive straight into the video.
So let's start with how the normal small creators, small to mid-sized creators normally structure their program, right? And why it is broken. So if we see at the typical creator, the charges XX amount could be 3K, 4K, even up to 5K, right? What they offer is a typical, hey, I'll give you a course, I'll give you insights on how to grow Instagram organically, how to grow on TikTok organically, how to grow on YouTube organically, right? The course on how to go viral without needing maybe zero cost to go viral. The next step they would teach is maybe TikTok ads. That is good. Meta ads, TikTok ads. What they would also teach, aside from the ads, is also the email and SMS marketing, which is amazing, right? So they have the course. And then they also have the typical one-on-one calls with the creator, personalization, right? They give personal advice on that one-on-one call. And then the last thing they might offer is the group weekly coaching calls, right? This is where people that join their mentorship receive advice alongside other group members as well. But what people don't realize when you are charging this normal price point is that what you are leaving out is opportunity cost. And once you fill in this opportunity cost, which I will show you what to fill in, your price point immediately jumps from 3 to 5K all the way up to 5K, 6K, even up to 7.5K, sometimes even 10K per price point. Because here's the thing, information plus implementation is where you see growth. But if you only have information without implementation, nothing happens, right? You stay stagnant, right? It's like with this coaching course in place, you can give your student 10,000 advice, 10,000 secrets of the secret sauce. But if they do not implement, they would always stay stagnant, right? They could receive 10,000 advice during this group coaching calls, but if they do not implement, they're going to stay stagnant. And the reason why I bring this up is because I want to introduce you guys to these two different flywheel that I've learned 3 years ago from a multi-7-figure entrepreneur. And once I learned this, everything changed for me, and I'm here to share with you the secret sauce. Now, there's a difference between the low ticket model versus the high ticket flywheel, high ticket model. Now, the low ticket model starts with the creator charging 3K, 4K, 5K, a low ticket for their mentorship, right? They charge low price, which equals to low margin, right? Limited cash flow means that you have no budget to hire additional help to help improve the program. And when you have no help to help improve the program, the creator would become the bottleneck in it by itself, because the creator is doing everything themselves, from the coaching, the admin stuff, how to fulfill for the students. And we're doing all three at once alongside your ecom business to run. You're going to get overloaded. I guarantee you're going to get overloaded. And when you're getting overloaded, you cannot provide personalized help. You have brain fog, which leads to what? Lower student success rate. You cannot give personalized advice. And when your student is not getting the results that they wanted, when they already pay such 2K, 3K price point, it leads to poor branding and less to none testimonials. And when you have less to none testimonials, dissatisfied students leads to fewer success stories and weaker brand authority. And when you have these three, you know how people call it like the Holy Trinity? This is the Holy Trinity for a dying business. All right. When you have these three, your refund rate goes through the roof. You start to question your own expertise, and this is where the little demons, the doubts come out. And when you have these little doubts come out, every single day it builds on top of one another. It leads you to race to the bottom. This is where you see most of the creator feels forced to compete on the price, right? I charge 3K while the other creator charge 4K, so I'm lower. Where the creator feels forced to compete on price. When they are forced to compete on price instead of their expertise and on a personal level, you attract less serious students who aren't serious, who aren't invested in their success, right? And all of this, what are the outcome of this? Both sides struggle to grow. Minimal results for the students, as well as the creator has no time or resources to improve the program. And when this flywheel keeps continuing, the creator quits the info space while not realizing that majority of the wealth, look at Tai Lopez, look at Iman Gadzhi, look at Grant Cardone, majority of the wealth is made in the info. Okay. But on the other hand, I want to introduce you guys to this high ticket pricing, high ticket education flywheel, right? When you charge high ticket 5K to 10K, and I'm going to show you what to deliver on that 5 to 10K in a second, but I just want to show this flywheel just to set the tone, just to set the context for what I'm about to present later. With this high ticket pricing, first off, you get healthy margins. 5K to 10K pricing provides enough cash flow to allow you to reinvest in the program. Think about hire coaches, think about building the resources, think about the systems that you can build based on the price point that you charge so that you can hire better talent, way better than you at completing specific tasks at a better result, right? And when you get a better support system, you have coaches, you have experts, you have a success manager to make sure client receive personalized and consistent support, your student results would inevitably improve or increase. Because with better resources, student would achieve greater success. This creates a higher success rate and stronger case studies for you to market your education business. You build a stronger brand. And when students get wins on a consistent basis, it amplifies your brand and it amplifies your reputation, allowing for more organic referrals and people to trust in you and your program. And when you have so much trust pre-built out, you have the case studies, you have the testimonials, it will only attract more high quality clients that are willing to pay even more premium prices to get access to you and your team. And with this opportunity on your hand, with the systems running smoothly from all the talent that you've hired, from the coaches to the systems, the automation, the SOPs, you, the creator, can focus on growing the business, not running the day-to-day operations. And the outcome of all of this flywheel is what? First off, student gets the results that they want, their life changes and their business changes. Second off, you get more case studies, you get more testimonials, you get more data in terms of what's working and what's not. When you have enough wins, you build a stronger program reputation. And when you have that, your program automatically scales with leverage, with you working on the business, not in the business. Now, when it scales without you being in it, you can enjoy both the financial and time freedom, which is the ultimate goal of everybody in the info space, right? Now, knowing the difference of flywheels between how smaller creator would charge versus how the big creators would play the game of info, let's get into what the top 1% offers and why they offer what they offer. So when I like to think of offer, I always like to think about the pain points first, because think about their current situation versus their ideal situation. Within this gap, they're currently not at their ideal situation yet because there is certain subsegments of the lesson that they have yet to learn in order for them to get to the ideal situation. Now, knowing that, aside from what they need to learn, they're also experiencing a certain amount of pain points. Now, knowing that there is pain points, there is friction. And when there is friction and you capitalize on that friction, it leads to what? Revenue and profit. Imagine if this is friction, and when you can capitalize on this friction and sell ease instead of having them to do all the work, your price point increases. So let's get into the different pain points. The first one is obviously inconsistent revenue. And by the way, do not target beginners. Do not target beginners. Only target people who are doing 10K, 20K, maybe profit or revenue with their clothing brand. Okay? Because those kind of people, their buying power, their financial capability, the knowledge inside their brain, they're much more willing to invest in you. But that's a tantrum. Let's move on. The first problem that they might face is obviously inconsistent or even stagnant revenue. 10K, 20K per month. They want to grow, but they struggle to generate predictable monthly income. There's too much reliance on one-off sale like the seasonal spikes like Black Friday or even Christmas sale, Cyber Monday, those kind of stuff. They cannot predictably scale month after month, right? They're facing marketing fatigue. They're spending a lot on ads, but they're not seeing profitable returns. Okay, unsure of how to scale organic marketing or even optimize paid campaigns. That can be their marketing pain points. In terms of their operational, they might be someone who is overwhelmed with fulfilling the orders, answering all of the customer support questions, managing suppliers. They have no systems for inventory, logistics, or even team management in place, right? They can be someone who is facing some branding challenges. Their brand feels lost in a crowd of competitors. Funny story, the other day I was about to buy like a hoodie because it's Cyber Monday, and I ended up looking for some blank hoodies. To be honest, they all kind of look the same. There's no sort of brand, there's no unique brand that makes a certain brand stand out. And what I did instead is that since I go to the gym as well, I ended up moving on with gym strength, which I'm wearing right now. So teach them, hey, you guys lack a compelling story to your brand. How can you come up with a unique positioning and come up with a unique brand that encourages repeat customers time after time after time? Next thing is time management, right? Most of them, they struggle to juggle everything together themselves, from the marketing to the fulfillment to the customer support. It's like a slave's working 24/7, except you are your own boss and you are your own slaves, right? And lastly is the fear of scaling. Okay, they are afraid to scale too fast and running out of cash or facing quality issues. So now that we know everything about their pain points, here is how the top 1% capitalize on those pain points. First, you want to analyze their current situation and their ideal situation. Within that, how you want to solve this is first, brand differentiation and positioning, right? What is the story of your brand? Help them create a top 1% USP. How can they build an emotional connection with their buyer, with their customer, right? And how the top 1% target the audience and understand what are the most profitable audience that will buy your clothes on a repeat, on a sort of monthly or even weekly basis. Now, not gonna lie, buying clothes on a weekly basis is kind of crazy. Anyways, beautiful. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about leaving that sipping water in and then add like a black screen and no audio. It just builds a connection. That's just an idea, you know? Next thing is product development and supply chain mastery. How can it build a e-commerce store in a way that is designed for profit, right? The supplier negotiation tactics and inventory optimization, how to avoid overstocking or even understocking sometimes, right? The 7-figure marketing system. Without this, their business would fail tremendously. You need a marketing team in place, whether it be the social media ads, whether it be the content that converts, UGC creators, influencer partnerships, email and SMS campaigns, right? You have to have those in place. Operations for systems for scale. The order fulfillment SOPs, can you give it to them? Team building SOPs, can you give the resources to them as well, right? Automation tools. This is how the top 1% creators that this is how the top 1% creators that currently this is how the top 1% of the creators that actively run their brand scale by giving them pre-built resources that have been proven to work, right? Profit and cash flow management. How can you teach your student to budget for growth? The pricing for profitability, right? 30% margins or even 40% margins. Emergency cash strategies. Teach them all of this, right? But most importantly, build up a talent pool that they can hire from. For example, for the creative talent pool, since you're charging 5K to 10K high ticket, you have the price point to build up a team full of vetted and experienced video editors on a singular platform that once people joins your program, they can choose who to hire from that has been pre-vetted and pre-qualified by you, the creator, for your clients to choose from, right? Have a UGC creator in place, vet different UGC creators in place for your students to choose from, different graphic designers, how to build a pool of talent full of media buyers that is experienced in running ads in specific niche, copywriters, SMS and marketing specialists. Build up a pool of talent so that your team so that your clients can pull and choose from once they join your high ticket program, right? Or even the customer support VAs as well. Okay. And by the end of this, say 90-day program or even 4-month mentorship program, they would obviously have they should have a fully operational, scalable clothing brand that generates 50K to 100K months consistently, right? They should have an automated system for fulfillment, marketing, and team management as well. Loyal customer base that consistently purchases on a monthly basis to drive repeat revenue, and they have clarity in scaling their brand upwards to 250K, $250,000, $500,000 per month. So now that we know the pain points, we know what the top 1% is offering to scale up their education, e-learning, info business. Let me show you how could you structure your program in terms of the deliverables, right? So how to deliver on this certain promise from that 5K to 10K price point is really easy. Number one is obviously the one-on-one calls. But here's the trick. You do not want to offer one-on-one calls on a weekly basis to each client that you work with. Because if that's the case, you're going to play within the low ticket flywheel, which I want you to escape. So I suggest only limited the one-on-one calls to the clarity or onboarding session, meaning once people pay you high ticket between the 5K to 10K price point, within the first 24 to 48 hours, organize a one-on-one call with them. And within that, give them a personalized roadmap of how long the program would last. Let's say your program lasts 90 days. Give them a personalized roadmap of what to follow within the next 90 days, right? Next thing is the weekly group coaching calls. Live, actionable coaching sessions. Oftentimes, when you limit the spots of your coaching program, say 10 people hop on the coaching calls, those weekly group coaching calls, people call it group coaching calls because there's more people besides you and one of your clients, right? But what happens is that since there are so less people that is hopping on a group coaching calls, it ends up being a one-on-one calls even, right? You can ask questions and they can answer, the creator could answer right away, right there and then, right? So live actionable coaching sessions to cover the sub-segments and answer the questions, as well as weekly cohort calls. I forgot to mention this as well, but let's say if you do not have a course in place that covers all of the rest, week one, focus on this too. Focus on how can you build a brand that differentiates yourself. Teach your student that. Week two, teach them product development and supply chain mastery. Week three, teach them the marketing system, 7-figure marketing system. And week four, teach them how to operationalize their systems for scale. And the last week, teach them the cash flow management, profit, and the different revenue playbook. Maybe some little tax play as well. All right. Now, with that being said, because you are charging 5K to 10K, you are left with enough margin to hire experts in, say, TikTok ads, experts in email marketing, experts in supply chain to bring value on the weekly coaching calls. Hire them as like guest coaches, right? Also hire a success manager in your community to give personalized check-ins with each and every student to make sure that every student is doing good and they are happy within your mentorship, right? Figure out what they need the most, as well as what are the pain points that they are facing that they would need you to sort of touch base more on, okay? And last but not least is obviously to hire and delegate yourself out. Okay, so since this program is 90 days, after those 90 days, see who are your most successful students. 10% of your most successful students, right? And grab them, offer them an opportunity to become one of the coaches, one of the assistant mentor to new student that comes in. And not only that, with that 10% most successful audience, you also have, you as the creator, have the opportunity to go into the private equity play. Meaning, if your students are doing 50K a month, 100K a month, sometimes even more, and you want to take their brand to the next level, to a potential exit, negotiate with them, hey, I'd like to take a certain percentage of your company, and in return, I'm gonna scale you from 100K a month to $1 million per month. And in return, I'm gonna scale you from 100K per month to $1 million per month. And your role is to just give them access. And your role is to just give them access to your team, give them access to the different exit strategies. So a more clear picture will look something like this, right? You're essentially coming in as a e-commerce consultant, right? Where you take equity in your mentees' brands, provide strategic advice for transitioning into a private label brand or increasing margins. And your role is to just become an e-commerce consultant where you take equity in your mentees' brands, right? Provide strategic advice for transitioning into a private label brand or even increase margins, right? And in the future, maybe a potential exit as well. And with this private equity play, this is how you get rich for sure. Not get rich for sure, but how you get wealthy. Okay, selling information, selling coaching, yes, you can get rich fast. But how you stay rich and how you get wealthy for sure is this private equity, and hopefully one of your student exits their brand. Okay. Now, with that being said, if you're still watching to this point, I'm super grateful. I just made a breakdown on how I just did a breakdown on how you can turn unprofitable leads or even broke leads that say. Now, with that being said, if you're still watching to this point, I'm super grateful. Now, if you're still watching to this point, I'm super grateful. By the way, now, if you're still watching to this point, I'm super grateful. I also just did a breakdown on how you can turn broke leads into the most profitable leads within your funnel, right? Go check it out. But other than that, I hope you have an amazing, blessed day, set up for higher standards, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. That was a good, eh? Let's go.